Welcome to Driving Immersion for the immersive driving experience. This is our full 57-lap race presentation of the Bahrain Grand Prix. There are no driver's aids, so there's no traction control, no anti-lock brakes, manual use of ERS with a manual transmission, full fuel use and tire wear simulation with a manual pit stop. There are no track guides and no assisted steering or braking. We also drive from the driver's seat with a driver's view using a steering wheel with pedals. If you like our content, please give us a like or a thumbs up and consider subscribing or following us. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So here we go to the track.
Here again then, at a circuit famous for its stunning visuals and thrilling battles for glory. Who will take the spotlight in the Bahrain Grand Prix today? There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit, with the best at turn 1 of course, and then another soon into turn 4. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and we could see 1 or 2 flat spots into the tight left-hander of turn 10. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Now I want to ask you about Lewis Hamilton. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Albon, Charles Leclerc and Vettel, Perez, Stroll, Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon, Sainz, the captain, Lando Norris and Kvyat, Gasly, Grosjean, Kevin Magnussen and Kimi Raikkonen, Latifi, Schumacher, Russell and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
So before we go to the start, let's have a look at how we qualified in 12th place.
If you need to find some more time, remember that corner exit is more important than corner entry. Slow in, fast out, smooth on the power.
This is our setup from Q1.
Everyone ready? Okay, let's go.
After a couple of warm-up laps, here's our best lap for Q1 with a P7. And it's a 1:30.5.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1 minute 30.5.
So as long as we can get into the top 10, we're going to try to stick with that in Q1. We don't want to put too much wear on the car and start using up tires that we may need later on in the race. As there's 18 minutes in Q1, we'll move on to Q2. Again, our goal here is to get into Q3 and not put too much wear on the car. So we get a P8.
That last lap puts you into P8.
With a 129.9. And there was 7 minutes left in the session, and we thought that was good. So we stayed and parked in the garage, hoping that, that at least that would get us in the top 10. And it did not. We actually ended up in P12 with that time in Q2, and we were, of course, disqualified from going to Q3. There's our time, 1:29.996. And at the time when we parked the car in the garage, we were certainly in the top 10. Unfortunately, anybody that watches Formula One knows that the best times usually come in at the very, very last seconds of the session. But we didn't want to put any more wear on the car. So we're going to start in 12th place. And here we go onto the race. This is our parade lap.
Without seeing any technical issues coming off the practice start, watch the RPM at full start. You don't want to bog down.
One of the great improvements of F1 2020 is the tire wear or tire simulation part. When we start off from a standing start, it doesn't just spin. You can actually modulate the gas pedal, or the throttle as you may call it, and reduce the amount of spin. The tire simulation is also improved in braking and grip, as you can usually bring your car to the edge of grip and regain grip by just reducing brake pressure or reducing weight on that tire or tires. So it's been improved quite a bit from 2019. Turn 12, this is turn 13.
Conditions look stable at the moment. No rain currently expected.
And this is the straight before the main straight. We'll be arriving on turn 14 here. And at the end of 14, there's actually 15 right there, which is basically just a kink just before you reach the straightaway. But it's considered a turn. So the car here is driven automatically into your grid spot so that there's no mistaking
The rest
where
of
it
the grid
is.
is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights.
Here we go. And let's go. So again, we get a very good takeoff there, not too much tire spin. We're able to control it a lot better this year. And of course, turn 1 is very crowded. There's somebody hitting me from the left. That's a McLaren, I believe. And then here on the right, we have a Renault, and I believe that is Ocon. And he didn't seem to have an accident, so he may just have given up what he thought was a pass, because he was actually off track when he made that pass, so he may have just fallen back. But right now behind us is a McLaren. So So before the end of lap 1, we are in 10th place. Ahead of us there is Perez in the Racing Point, and behind us is the orange car, which is the McLaren of Lando Norris. Coming on to turn 14 and 15 to the main straight. We don't have DRS yet, so we are working with the fuel mixture as well as the ERS. And you can see here that I have a very good pull from Perez. And we pass him going into turn 1. That's turn 6, 7. Very sharp turn 8. And then turn 9 is a quick left and a very slow turn 10 going downhill. And we'll be struggling with grip through there. Riding now with Perez in the Racing Point with the 66 just in front. So there on turn 14, you touch the curve on the right. We are now entering the main DRS zone through the main straight. Coming into turn 1. We did lock up the tires there, and that is an indication of what's coming for us later on in the race. Turn 4, 5, and 7 there is actually very tricky because it falls away and you're trying to accelerate. Again, turn 9 and turn 10 into the very slow left-hander. Opening onto a DRS zone. We are riding with Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault. Looking back at the 66 with Perez in tow. Under braking, it looks like we have a little bit of an advantage, and we made a few yards there. Going down the main straight again. We take a good dive under Ricciardo and get past him. That we were locking up the front tires again in turn 4. Red glowing brakes on a night race. So you've noticed that we've slowed. There's a yellow flag waving. Can't quite tell what happened. We didn't see anything, and we were just notified there was a yellow flag. You can see the yellow lights blinking on the steering wheel. And we're wondering if the safety car will come out. I believe I saw the signal for the safety car. There are very small light boxes just above the fence line there, and it says SC. There we are. There's the safety car ahead of this queue. At this point, we're in 7th place, just behind Lance Stroll. So up ahead, the 2 McLarens, a couple of Red Bulls, and a Ferrari. So at this point, you can see that we are still in a fuel deficit, minus 2.32 laps. And we have set our fuel mixture to lean, which is indicated there on the lower right. And while we're under this safety car, you can see that our fuel is improving, so we're not actually making more fuel, we're just not using as much to get around the track as we are going slower. We still have a pretty good sized field. I actually don't know what happened there in lap 4 that caused the safety car to come out. Obviously it's a car that must have failed on the track. We are benefiting in the safety car period because we are saving fuel. However, our tires are getting a little cool, as everybody else's as well. And this is a look at Hamilton, who's in front right now, directly behind the safety car. There we are. A lot of people have complained that they haven't seen the safety car in their game, but I believe if you have it set to 100%, you'll have a better success of seeing it. This is the 3rd time the safety car has come out in 2 races for me.
Why are we backing off? Is he coming in?
Yep, the lights are off.
Lights off? Lights off.
So we're going to go back to racing next time around, or this time around. And you can see there that Hamilton is holding us back, and he's actually going pretty slow right here to let the safety car get past the line so he can accelerate and pass just as he gets past that line. Here we go. Green flag's down. Very close behind. I almost got underneath Lance Stroll there. But at this point, my tires are cold from the safety car period. Locking up again just before a very slow turn 10. So no DRS yet, and we are using our ERS. Again, this year that's activated with a button on the steering wheel, and as soon as you let it go, it goes back to medium, which is where it's set to automatically now for F1 2020. During the race, there's no way of turning it off or changing it from medium. So after one lap, we are 1.4 seconds behind Lance Stroll. That's the distance you see between us and the car in front. Riding here at the McLaren, looking at the 66, you can see we locked up again coming into turn 4. Again into 8. So we can actually pull ourselves away from the McLaren by pushing the ERS button. And it looks like I gained a little space on Stroll through the infield section. I do have the DRS activated here, so we're within 1 second of him, and we were not close enough that time. I usually try to set the car up so that there's a lot of grip available on slower portions, and that way we could be a little bit faster than most. But you can't go too far with it, because then you won't have enough, or you'll have too much downforce coming through the straights. And on this track, there's 4 good long straights. So here we are on Stroll on turn 14. We're about to get into the main straight, and we are within range. As soon as we cross that line, DRS is activated. Let's see if we're close enough this time. He's guarding the inside. He's getting a little squirrely there on the braking. And I was able to dive inside. So we are past Lance Stroll, and you can see there that he's now fighting with the McLaren a little bit. I think he just outbraked himself coming into turn 1. And it was all because he was defending the inside of turn 1. See there that my hands are busy with the ERS. We're also again using the fuel mixture here to maintain higher speed. We're down to 1.94 gallon deficit. As long as we keep running the normal fuel mixture, we're going to gain it slowly at a time.
Okay, the safety car is out. The safety car is out. We need to form up at a reduced
Okay, lap 11, another safety car.
Delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
Again, don't know exactly what happened.
We're very low on fuel. Trying to shift up through the gears earlier. It may help save more fuel. Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
I am now in
Okay,
5th
slow
place,
down,
so
slow down.
I
Your
believe
delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
a couple of the front runners must have stopped the Mercedes. Again, we've got our fuel mixture on lean, and you can see there that we're now down to negative 1.5.
And now, boxes left.
So there's a car coming into the pits, and we're going to come in this time as well. We are 4 laps away from our programmed pit stop, which was lap 15, and you can see here that everybody's coming in as well to take advantage of the safety car period. So we are changing out of the reds a little bit early. That's Botas just ahead of us, who also changed his tires.
Stop left in our strategy.
And he's on the yellows or the mediums as well. You just heard we are in a 2-stop strategy for this race. Here's the reason for the caution. And you can see there that this is between a Ferrari and a Red Bull. And it looks like the Red Bull, that is 23. That would be... Yeah, you can see the car just quit. No explosion or no smoke. Yeah. So that would be Albon, and Albon is out of the race. unfortunately, there's no way of finding out what the failure was with his car. Can't see any smoke coming out when he pulled over. So it's probably likely a drivetrain problem, meaning transmission instead of engine. So we're riding with Lewis Hamilton, looking onto the safety car. Again, Lewis holds first place right now. And you can see there's a Ferrari behind him. Verstappen in third place. And there's also a Renault there. Couldn't see the number to see who it was. So it's a great detail that Codemasters is actually very successful in incorporating the safety car in F1 2020, as well as the past games that they had with Formula One. The safety car is actually a very important detail that a lot of other racing venues don't include in their games. And certainly it is critical to the outcome of the race.
The safety car is in this lap.
Again, the safety car is in this lap. There he is way up ahead. Hamilton is holding us back, and the safety car has his lights off. Taking a dive in turn 1 into Bottas, and you can see it didn't work out. And we almost lost it to the McLaren. He's still coming for us.
Let's use overtake and burn some of this energy.
A lot of locking up there. Our tires are cold, our brakes are cold. So by lap 11, we've had the safety car twice
Get the
already.
temperatures up.
Very big lock up there. Something that we'll have to watch out for. The tires are still new at this point, but eventually they'll wear. So the McLaren's very close. He's actually faster than us right now, and I'm moving around the track just to block any idea that he may try to get around.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
More lock up there. If you look at the timing there, we can see that we are a couple of seconds behind Bottas now, so the restart cost us a lot with the cold tires and cold brakes. I have tried weaving back and forth to warm up the tires during the safety car periods, and I am monitoring the temperatures. Oh, and that's Norris. I believe he hit us. I don't remember feeling anything, but he kind of spins out safely, is able to keep it going, and it looks like he was coming back onto the track. And we lost a little momentum there, and you can see there that the Renault is trying to get back in.
That sector was very messy.
Yeah, so I was weaving back and forth during the safety car periods, and I couldn't see that my tires were getting any warmer. I even tried slamming on the brakes or trying to do some burnouts, and it just was not increasing the tire temp. So maybe that's a detail that's missing or not as pronounced, so I don't realize any effect or advantage of it. But certainly when the green flag drops, the car is on cold tires or colder tires. We did have a failure in the development process this week. Just for this race, we were developing an under tray, and that had failed. I believe it was 500 something points, and we were able to restart it, but didn't know when it was going to take effect once it was completed. So obviously we didn't have that improvement available for this race. There are more things planned in the future that are in the works now to help the car go faster. But there's a timing in the game that can't get around, I guess. So it's just part of it, I guess, as it would be in real life. So riding here with Renault, again looking at the 66. And right now we actually are keeping a safe distance. So we have a couple of other things developing in the engineering side of the game. We have weight reduction. We have durability on our ECUs, MGKs, and so on. Again, but they do take time. And there is actually a part where you can only have a number of things developing at one time. And no matter how much credits or money that you have for your team, you can't develop anymore until that one item or the items that are under development are finished. Again, very much just like real life. So the detail is very good. And hopefully we can make it through a hopefully we can make it through a full session or a full year this time. I often get this game on the first day, and after a few months, I've tried it a few times, waiting for updates and upgrades from Codemasters. And then once that starts slowing down is when I start to spend more time in the game, just so that I don't have to bother with any development issues or software updates. As you can see there, we have a custom livery as well as a custom helmet. And when the updates come through from Codemasters, a lot of the things that you do to customize your version are overwritten and erased, so you have to basically put them into the game, and sometimes they don't work, or sometimes you have to fix the modifications that you made. But those are the only two that I use in F1, is the livery and the helmet. The rest of the game, as far as damage model and wear levels and things like that, I have to think that that's what's expected of Codemasters in Formula 1, so I try to deal with it when I'm playing the game. But I do like to race under my own name and with my own liveries, and for that I pay a little bit extra to play this game on the PC as opposed to one of the consoles, because you can't mod consoles. There are little ways that you can, but not in this way. So that's important to me, to be able to play this on the PC. So we're in 8th place. We have Esteban Ocon in the Renault way behind us now. And it looks like Vettel just got past him. Nope. Still there. So in the middle of the race right here, I'm thinking that the car is doing well. The tire wear is certainly manageable for the distance that we've got on this set. And even though I'm not making a lot of time on the car ahead of us, and the car behind us is not getting too close, I'm happy with the way it's going, and I'm able to recover fuel and maintain my distance using the ERS. And because the other cars are further away, we're not really racing with anybody, and we're reducing the wear that we are putting on the tires. into turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, first DRS. Turn 4 there, that just behind us is actually very tricky. The exit of it is off camber, so you can't really accelerate too hard. Turn 9 and turn 10. So looking back, you can see that the Renault is not making too much time on us. Lap 22 of 57. So our original pit stop to change out of the second set of tires was, I believe, lap 34 or 35. However, we did change into them 4 laps early, so you would consider that lap 30 would be the time to change out of them, but we may not have enough.
behind is 8.6 seconds.
We may not have enough laps left out of the third set of tires. So we are going to watch carefully our pit window. We may come in a couple of laps early, but certainly not 4 if the tires get that bad, or we may try to stick with them until lap 34. And that's Ocon in the Renault just ahead of us here, and he locked up as well. So he's trying to get the most out of his car as we are up ahead of him. And I believe this is the AlphaTauri of Kvyat. Way outside there on the left turn. We're riding with Ocon, looking back at the AlphaTauri, and then there's another racing point behind him. So these guys are behind us. And this may be the racing point looking ahead at the AlphaTauri. Nope, that's the Renault. And then we are just ahead of this Renault. So that would make this Esteban Ocon. at this point you can see there that the front runners have certainly taken off in front of us. We are in a points paying position though, so we're not terribly concerned as long as we can stay ahead of the cars behind us. Again, at this point, we're pretty happy with the way the car is performing. We're not losing time, and the wear is good on the tires. Well, that was a little bit slow coming to 13, but you can see there that we are only 0.12 seconds from our fastest time.
We're leading our teammate by 33.3 seconds.
So the laps are pretty consistent at this point of the race. A little too eager to exit there, and you can see there that we nearly lost the back end. Did it again. And if this gets worse, we may be losing more time. We are now more than 5 seconds adrift of Bottas, so they are going faster up in front. And ahead of him is Perez, of course. back tires are starting to lose grip. We may be accelerating it a little bit hard, but that's certainly the difference now. And you can also see there on the steering wheel that we have been able to save fuel. We are only now about half a lap short of the finish. Once that deficit is gone, we will be using the rich fuel mixture more often. Right now we are using it on these long straights just only momentarily, and you can see there the work with the hands.
Our gap to the car in front is 5.0 seconds.
And it helps us to maximize our top speed once we come out of the long straights and go into the
You might want to consider switching to a lower fuel mix. You may not finish on the current settings.
slower infield sections. We'll reduce it back down to standard. You may remember from race 1 that we totally did not use the standard mixture or the rich mixture until we achieved zero deficit, which was actually costly to us. I think we lost to Vettel in a Ferrari because we didn't use a higher fuel mixture and spread out our loss throughout the race. So in race 2 here, we are using it throughout the race, the rich fuel mixture, but only very limited wise. Again, until we can have a surplus of fuel there. So we are looking at the two Ferraris together. That is Vettel in front of Charles Leclerc. And this is my teammate here. Again, I had chosen Mick Schumacher in the career as my teammate. He was one of the least expensive drivers to hire. And as we know now, he's actually been crowned F2 champion.
Gap ahead is 6.1 seconds.
Yeah, so the lead up ahead is increasing. Meanwhile, the car behind us, that is maintained. So up front, they're just going faster and faster. Here is, I believe that's Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault. With a racing point in tow. Again, there's Ricciardo. He was running up in front with the front runners. But all these cars behind him, they will eventually have to stop again for a set of tires. Back with the 66, again because people are pitting. You can see there that we have moved up to 4th place with Bottas now 7.8 seconds ahead, so he's still going faster. So there are a few cars that did not think that they wanted to stretch their second set of tires until the programmed second pit stop. Because remember, we all pitted early because of the safety car back in lap 11. Lap 32 here, and we have 2 laps to go until we can stop at our program stop. So these tires are being stretched at least by a couple of laps. And right there you can see that we've got 30 and 40% wear. And that would be pretty close to the edge. But we were willing to go with them. So what we're doing here is we're looking to see when the front runners are going to come in and change out for their last time. And this would be Verstappen here. Nope, he decided to stay out. And this is Hamilton as well. He decided to stay out. Bottas also decided to stay out. So that would leave us, and we are still not coming in at this point. Again, we're going to try to stretch it another lap. This is lap 33. So no problems yet with the tires. Turn 10. There's Bottas. No pit again. Somebody did stop though, I believe that was Hamilton. Nope, Verstappen. So Verstappen's the first one to come in. out of the first 3. He came in and changed his tires and was able to stay ahead of us. So we were that far back. Again, at this point, we are in 4th place. And we are thinking that the race is looking pretty good. However, we do have, I think, 5 or 6 cars within 10 seconds of us. So obviously if we stop, all of those cars are going to pass us. And we'll have to wait to see when they will stop again to see how much further ahead we are of them, if we are. One thing that we're not accomplished yet on this game is making time during the pits. That consists of the entry lap and the exit lap. So we're still losing a lot of time here. We are way wide.
These tires are going.
So the tires are wearing, and it's clearly evident at that point. The car just slid out. And that would have been turn 11, which is a good long turn. Here we are. This is... Nope, that's Bottas. So Hamilton went another lap. There's Verstappen. I think as we exit, we should be pretty close to Bottas again, but once we stop, and I think we are coming in on this lap, being lap number 34, we will be far behind him again. Before all the pit stops started, they were about 6 or 7 seconds ahead. There we are, wide on that. So here we are looking for Lewis to come in. He should be coming in at this point to change out those tires. He's also stretched them out a couple of laps longer. Nope, he's going around. So there we are in the 66 coming around turn 13. See if we come in this lap. Yep. So this should be our last stop. And we will be going with the medium tires again, the yellow tires.
Exit.
1.9 seconds.
There we go, that was a 1.9 second pit stop.
Well, I've got quite a race ahead of me now. Really lost a lot of time on the last 3 laps.
So we come out and we are behind Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll. A little aggressive there. The tires are still a little bit cool. More skidding. And it's now that I suspect that the brakes may be wearing. There is a brake temp indicator there on the display or on your HUD. However, it does not tell you that they're worn. And I would imagine that they will decrease in function as they get older. There's my teammate, Mick Schumacher, and he's being hunted down by one of the Ferraris. I believe that is Leclerc. Yep, there we go. Well, these actually stretched out those tires. So he's doing well with them. You can see here the Ferrari's very good speed and grip. Now the reason why I suspect that my brakes may be starting to go away is because I'm trying to brake in the same distances, and I end up locking near the end, which means that I'm still holding onto the brakes way deep into the turn, and that's why they're locking up. There we go. Leclerc gets around my teammate in the other driving immersion car. Back now with the 66. We are still behind the McLarens and the Racing Point. And I'm really starting to feel that even though we put on new tires, that the car has not really improved from what it was doing with at least 20 laps on the old tires. Again, you can see there that we had locked up coming out of turn 10 or coming into turn 10. And once you start locking up and they're braking, you start to lose confidence in the car's braking ability, so you approach the corners and the turns a little bit more cautiously and slowly. And little by little, inch by inch, you will start losing distance and time.
We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
So my teammates coming in. You can see there that through the twisty area, turns 1, 2, and 3, that we lost a little bit of time. We'll see how we do here on the infield. You can see there that we are losing time again. Not too bad there in turn 10. Shifting up a little bit early, hoping to make use of the ERS to push the car. You can see now that we are in a surplus of fuel, 0.12 laps worth. So hopefully we can start using that here on the straights. We are now in rich fuel mixture, and you can see that we are slightly gaining. Tenth of a lap, 0.2 tenths. There we go. were very slow through the turns there of 1, 2, and 3, and we lost our advantage that we gained into the straight. A little bit of a loss of traction there, accelerating out. Oh, locking up the tires in turn 10. Locking up again. Now we have one of the Ferraris behind us. This should be Charles Leclerc. I was not able to monitor when they changed their tires or when they did their pits. I would imagine that they're at least on a two-stop strategy. But here, they actually have a lot of pace over the field. Now we're riding with Charles Leclerc looking onto the 66, coming into turn 1. You can see there that we went very wide. And that means that we're just going to have a slower exit. Doesn't look like much in distance here, but he's able to go faster than us, and a little bit wide there again on turn 3 or turn 4. Well, he's definitely braking better than us. Right now, he's pretty close to our rear wing.
Okay, slow down. Your delta is negative, which
Oh,
means you
we have
too
a
fast. Reduce your pace.
yellow flag caution here. And the safety car is deployed. So this is what happened. I believe that would be my teammate there. That's our livery. And he is in turn 4, stopped on the side. As he was being chased down by another Ferrari, I believe. Oh, that's a blown engine. See the smoke coming out? His day is done. So he's had two failures in 2 races. We're basically driving the same car, so we're fortunate we haven't had any. Major lock up there again, just in front of the Ferrari. And he'll be eager to get around us once we get going again. I think we're back to green flag. I don't see the yellow lights on the steering wheel to indicate a yellow flag. Yep, we're back to green. So we are racing now with the Ferrari. He's trying to get around here, and he's a little bit more cautious than I was, and I dive right in. So he's got better braking and definitely better speed in the straights, but I'm not giving him much room here in the turns. So you can see there that I've got decent power, and he's able to match it, so he may be using his fuel mixture and his ERS as well. But you'll see here in the straight that he actually makes up a lot of ground, certainly in the braking area there. We've got the ERS up, so is the fuel mixture. So he's back riding under our wing. Now keep in mind that he was actually pretty fast against our teammate, getting around him and so on. So we expect the same, that he'll try just as hard here. And you can see that he's showing us his front end. And it looks like Vettel in the second Ferrari has gotten around the other McLaren. So whatever strategy the Ferraris were using, it's working now. Here we are, 2 Ferraris and a McLaren right behind us. Ten laps to go. And Ferrari still doing very well. I don't imagine that he's due for a pit stop with only 10 laps to go. So I expect that we'll be racing with him for the end of the race. And if I'm right, we may be racing with both Ferraris at this point because I'm holding back Charles Leclerc here in the number 16. If they are just as fast as each other, Vettel will catch up to us pretty soon. Here we are, covering every turn, just to make sure that he doesn't try to get around. Obviously, he's faster. Okay, so coming onto the long straight, I'm going to be using my ERS and using the rich fuel mixture. You can see there that I'm using the ERS when the green light comes on in the dash. He's able to get past, so he's got top speed. Oh, there's a bump there, and he's trying to get into the corner at the same time as I am. And that allows Vettel to come through. So now I'm racing with both Ferraris as I suspected. Very carefully through turn 10. You want to exit just right because if you lose traction, you're going to lose a lot of time. So at this point, we've got about 10 laps to go. 9 laps now. And I'm wondering how I'm going to be able to lawfully or legally knock off one of these Ferraris because their challenge is very heated right now, and it's either I knock them off or they knock me off, and we shall soon see because it will come to a head. These things just don't go away unless you back down. Very close coming into turn 9 and certainly turn 10 there, and oh, he shoots the turn. He shoots turn 10. I think he was a little bit too close, and he slid through when he applied the brakes. So there's one Ferrari down. So this is Vettel behind us. Still doing well on the track with these tires, but I think it's the
It is 6.5 seconds.
it's the braking that's starting to slow us down. Vettel had a very good tow with his DRS. Of course, I couldn't use mine, but it wasn't enough to get him by, and he had to negotiate through turns 1 and 2. On a different line, and that's why we have a little space between us now. Turn 8. Nine. And he gets a lot of space, or he gains a lot of space from braking there. And unfortunately, I got a very good takeoff here. It's actually a DRS zone, so he's able to open his rear wing. Coming through turn 13 now. And we're still doing well. Charles Leclerc and the other Ferrari are way back. I think he fell behind the McLaren. Lap 51 of 57. Okay, so now I'm wondering how is Vettel going to have an accident? You can see here that he's got a very heated challenge. Very close through turn 10. And he should have a good shot here through the DRS zone. But again, I'm using my fuel mixture as well as my ERS right when it counts, so we're very successful right now in using that, as he has not found his way around. But it's in the braking zones and the long straights where we'll have a hard time later on. Another DRS zone coming into turn 3 and 4, turn 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see there that Vettel activated his DRS wing, but he has not made too much ground. Lap 53 of 57, so 4 laps to go. And he's just lurking behind. I just saw for a flash there that Charles Leclerc has gotten around the McLaren of Norris. Yeah, Norris. So as fast as I'm going and I'm able to keep Vettel back, it looks like Charles Leclerc is going faster. And at this point I'm so busy with Vettel I can't radio back to the pits to see how Leclerc's doing. But it doesn't really matter because we're dealing with Vettel right now, and he's giving us a good race. he's actually keeping a pretty good distance. I'm just wondering if he's either cooling his brakes or cooling his tires. Just momentarily, I believe that there is enough time that he will be trying again to heatedly get past us. Now, you may have gotten a brief view there. My ERS is down to 23%. While you can wear it down completely within one lap, you cannot recharge it in the same distance. It takes quite a few laps to be able to charge it all the way to 100, but we don't need it at 100. We just need enough momentarily to keep the car ahead just for a few seconds down the long straight. And right there, I think Vettel had a poor exit out of turn 10, and I got ahead of him there, 12. Yep, so we get a good safe distance, and I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable here that we're going to be able to finish ahead. And now we have a surplus of 0.14 laps. We are burning the rich fuel mixture just to stay ahead in these long straights, and you can see there that he's making only a little bit of gains, but it's not until the braking zone that it really comes into view. So he's got his DRS open and he's getting a higher top speed, so there we are again, locking up the brakes. Which is not helping. And for some reason during practice and even qualifying, I was very confident there in turn 7, coming into turn 8 with the car, but right now it's not as confidence inspiring as far as grip. In fact, throughout the whole race, turn 7, which is just a little kink to the right, or to the left I should say, I'm sorry, is not as secure. And you can see that they're back under my wing. I'm fighting both Ferraris again. This time Vettel is ahead of Charles Leclerc, and we are in front of both. There's Vettel, he's got a higher top speed. I come in, and I give him no room, and he does exactly what a driver would do, is overshoot the turn, and we do bump. Wasn't enough to spin either one of us out, but it kept me ahead. There he is fighting with Leclerc now. Leclerc definitely has some speed, and he gets ahead. So Leclerc has come a long way. He's almost spun out, and he's passed 2 cars within about 4 or 5 laps just to get back under our wing. Lap 56 now. So one more lap after we cross the start-finish line, and right now I've got a good distance ahead of the Ferraris. I will take this. Well, unfortunately, they are both within distance here of activating their DRS, and they will have the speed over mine. You can see here Leclerc is creeping in. I've got my ERS, there he is. He's going to try to do the same thing, yep. He did the exact same thing as Vettel did. Oh, but there I get pushed off by both cars. Yeah, I definitely heard a collision. I believe it was Vettel. That knocked us off the track, and so we couldn't respond to the exit like they did, and that's two cars there just ahead of us. So there in the picture you'll see looking back from Leclerc's car, and we are just too far back to be able to respond. Coming through 12 here. Doesn't get any more twisty here, so we may not be able to make up that distance now with speed. I have the ERS and the fuel mixture left, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Here we go onto the main straight. Definitely not. I will lose 2 places on the last lap. So perhaps one of the things that we'll have to look into is the development of the brakes.
Smiling faces on the pit wall after a superb win here at Sakir. And rightly so. What a brilliant effort from the whole team.
Yep, the Mercedes won again.
Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. So, let's review the drivers' standings. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Well, you've put me in a bit of a tight spot today, but I think I'll go for Pierre Gasly. He kept a cool head under pressure and made the most of some difficult circumstances.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes move to the top of the table. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
So here's a replay of the first turn on the last lap, and that is Leclerc there in the Ferrari to our right, and you can see I'm moving towards the turn, and I'm going to be cutting him off as I am still ahead of him. And you can see here that he's got nowhere to go now. It's too late to brake hard, and he's probably braking as hard as he can. So he's just gonna shoot through the turn, make impact, and he's gonna push me off to my left, and I'm actually gonna come off the track here, and there's no traction to accelerate and respond back. And while I'm waiting to get back on the track, both cars are going to start accelerating and slipping away. I do have a little bit more distance here where I may be able to rescue the lead because it's going to turn to the left, which is the side that I'm on. But you can see here that Vettel is going to come, and he's going to get ahead a little bit, but he's running out of track. And so he bumps me off there, and that's enough again to push me off the track. And that gray area there to my left, that is gravel, so there's no traction there, and it really just slows your car down. And that's what happened. Thanks for checking us out. If you like the programming, Please give us a like or a thumbs up. Again, we can be found on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch as well. We'll see you again. I think the next race is going to be in Vietnam, which is the first time that we're going to see that track. Enjoy the highlights as they follow, and we'll see you soon.